Hi guys, today we're going to be analyzing document A in the Black Death Hyperdoc. So I wanted to read it with you just in case you had any questions. So document A, as you can see from the top, is from the University of Paris. It's a medical report. So this is from a doctor. This is from someone in the healthcare profession. This passage below is an excerpt from the report of the Paris Medical Faculty issued October 1348. So we're in the middle of talking about the Middle Ages, 1348, right there in the Middle Ages. In the report, medical faculty at the University of Paris describe what they believe were the origins of the bubonic plague and provide advice on how to avoid contracting the plague. So they're going to tell us how the bubonic plague started and provide advice on how to avoid getting the bubonic plague. Remember, this plague killed millions in Europe at the time. So they were very worried about finding some way to stop it from spreading and to help people. So let's see. We, the medical of the College of Physicians of Paris, intend to make known the causes of this plague. They're just saying, we're going to tell you how this plague started. We declare as follows. It is known that in India and the area of the Great Sea, the constellations which combated the rays of the sun exerted their power, especially against the sea, and the waters of the oceans arose in form of vapor. The waters were in some parts so corrupted that the fish died. This vapor spread itself through the air in many places on earth, on all the islands and adjoining countries to which the corrupted sea winds extends. If the inhabitants of those parts do not take the following advice, we announce to them inevitable death, except in the grace of Christ preserve their lives. So let's talk about this first paragraph. They are saying that the origins of this plague, the way it originated, was from India. So we're talking Asia, and you already know based on the previous slides that yes, the bubonic plague did originate in Asia. So they got an idea of where it came from. But let's see what else. So they're correct so far, but let's talk about these vapors that they discuss. Combated the rays of the sun, exerted their power, especially against the sea, and the waters of the oceans arose in form of vapor. If you've ever boiled a pot of water, you'll see the gas coming up. That's sort of vapor. They're describing what we today know as basically precipitation, right? That's how it rains. The sun casts rays on the ocean, the water kind of rises up, makes clouds, and it rains. So we know this now. They didn't really know this back then. But one thing that's important to see in this first paragraph is that they're making this connection with the ocean. They're specifically saying the ocean or the sea, not rivers, not lakes, not small bodies of water, big bodies of water. Why do you think that is? So they're saying that if you live in these areas right on the ocean, you are especially at risk. That's very interesting because what have we talked about all year that has to do with port cities or coastal towns? I hope you're thinking of trade. If you thought about trade, good job, extra credit for you. So that's exactly what they're clearly seeing a pattern in cases of the bubonic plague of people who are near coastal cities. Well, the reason there's so many cases there is because in coastal cities, you have a lot of trade, a lot of interaction with people coming from different areas. So a lot of interacting, a lot of cultural change, a lot of biological change, a lot of germ change. So when you're trading, you have a higher probability of getting sick from the bubonic plague. It makes sense, but they didn't really see that trade was that important in spreading the bubonic plague. Let's do this last one real quick. Every one of you should protect himself from the air. Wormwood and chamomile should be burnt in great quantities in the marketplace, in the houses. Cold, moist, watery food is generally harmful. Going out at night or even until 3 o'clock in the morning is dangerous on account of the dew. Fasting is injurious, and so is anxiety of mind, anger, and immoderate drinking and bathing. So if you're drinking or bathing too much, you're at risk. Everyone should remember that, but especially those who reside on the coast or upon an island into which the poisonous wind has penetrated. So they're thinking that wind is making the disease go. It's actually the interaction of people, which is why it's so important to socially distance yourself. All right, guys, I hope this helps you.